The funny thing about politicians and lawmakers who advocate for gun control is that they usually do so from behind the protection of armed security. There are plenty of times where we found out that anti-gun activists had permits themselves or had illegal guns, or in the case of Moms Demand Action, they've had several members arrested or ousted as racist or praising Nazi party slogans as words to live by. So stunning and brave. So today's story about a Moms Demand ally and lawmaker getting arrested and charged with burglary is not all that surprising in the grand scope of things. After all of the people that I've met personally that wanted to disarm me have admittedly not been the greatest people. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now, as I said in the intro, I'm not entirely surprised by today's news. Neither, likely, are you. You're probably here just because you saw the headline and were surprised this lady actually got caught and wanted to know the details. The Democrat Senate leaders in Minnesota, however, where this all went down, are allegedly shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Maybe also that she got caught. This woman, they say, has proven she doesn't meet the high standard of conduct that they expect from fellow politicians. That's a good one. Now, before I get into the details on this one, this video is brought to you by American Hartford Gold. Now, I am a firm believer in diversifying against inflation, currency wars, failing banks, and what seems like ever-increasing threats of civil war brought on by government tyranny. That might be things like food and ammo, but it also includes precious metals. American Hartford Gold gives folks all kinds of options, from gold, silver, and platinum bars and coins delivered to your doorstep to the ability to invest them in a retirement account like an IRA or 401k. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, have a 5-star consumer satisfaction rating across multiple platforms, and are ranked as the #1 gold company in the country. And if you ever find yourself in a bind and need to sell, they also offer a buyback commitment, so there's really no reason not to invest. And if you tell them that I sent you, they will give you up to $15,000 of free silver on your first order. And to make it extra convenient, there are 3 ways to get your hookup. You can click the link in the description, call the number right here on your screen, or text the word DOLL, that's DOLL, to 65532. Now, as recently as April 16th, Democratic Senator Nicole Mitchell posted on X, posing with Moms Demand Action members, demanding gun control in order to create safer communities. Communities free of violence and crime. That same day, she advocated again for gun control and safer communities while at the state's capitol. 6 days later, on April 22nd, Detroit Lakes Police received a 911 call around 4:45 a.m. with a resident reporting an active burglary in progress at her residence. When officers arrived and searched the home, they found Mitchell and took her into custody. And a very important detail here for later, they found her hiding in the basement, in all black clothing. And they also found her carrying a backpack. She was kept in the Becker County Jail overnight and was formally charged with first-degree burglary on Tuesday. Now, there are some crucial details missing here. We don't know if she was armed, how she got in, or if she's going to remain in the legislature, which is a pretty important detail. As the Minnesota Democrats have only a 1-seat majority in the Senate, and it's only about a month before they go on break, my bet would be that they're going to keep her in for the rest of the session. Because politics. We also don't know if anyone inside the home was armed, but I suppose that's why she's been working so hard to disarm Americans. Easier to steal from people that way. Either way, cops say that they can't release details because the investigation is ongoing. I'd bet that it's half that and half, again, politics. Now, according to the AP, the only extra thing that we can glean here is that according to public records and an obituary posted by a Detroit Lakes funeral home, show that Mitchell's father, who died last year, and stepmother lived on the same block of the same road in Detroit Lakes as where the senator was arrested. Now, this seems to be confirmed by one report from NPR News, and it is the only report with this information so far, which is ironic because Mitchell apparently used to work for them as a meteorologist. She allegedly broke into her stepmother's home over an ongoing dispute over her late father's possessions and ashes. And 4 in the morning seemed like the perfect time to attempt to rectify that situation with a B&E. According to the criminal complaint, she told her stepmother during the arrest that she was just trying to get some things from the home because the stepmom wouldn't talk to her. She allegedly told officers that she wanted some of his clothing, photos, and ashes. This report states that in January, a judge signed off on a probate case that awarded 100% of her father's ashes to her stepmother. She was held on $40,000 bail, and release conditions included having no contact with the victim and not leaving the state. The judge also issued a restraining order, so now Miss Mitchell is, ironically, a prohibited person. Her charge is also a felony, punishable by anywhere from 6 months to 20 years in prison, though I'd be willing to bet that she never serves any of that. We also know that the area that she was arrested in was one that she represents. So technically, she was also breaking into a constituent's home. That just adds a little bit of something extra, a little bit of flavor. Tax dollars! We've also learned that the late-night break-in required Mitchell to drive several hours, that she was also carrying a flashlight, and that among the items in the backpack, police found her stepmother's laptop. Mitchell made a Facebook post on Tuesday saying that she decided to enter the home unannounced before 5 in the morning because her stepmom has memory and paranoia issues. Over the weekend, I learned of some medical information which caused me grave concern and prompted me to check on that family member. I entered a home I have come and gone from countless times in the past 20 years, where my son even once had his own room. Mitchell wrote, "Unfortunately, I startled the close relative, exacerbating paranoia, and I was accused of stealing, which I absolutely deny." Her attorney is blaming it on a fractured relationship caused by dementia. But see, the thing is, I have worked with dementia patients at a nursing home. It was my high school job and how I paid my way through college, all 4 years. My own grandfather, bless his soul, had dementia. And never would it occur to me to sneak into a dementia patient's house or room at 4:30 in the morning, especially if, as her statement suggests, this is a pretty new diagnosis or one that she was this worried about. And if your excuse is that you want to check on them rather than steal their stuff, again, why 4:30 in the morning when the lady is probably sleeping? Why the black clothing? Why the backpack? And why the statements to the police? And why hide in the basement? She is currently due back in court on June 10th. Mom's demand action has been, of course, blissfully silent. Senate leaders on the Dem side have been completely mum on this as well, except to tell us how they literally can't even, and that they're aware of the situation. Republicans, however, gave a statement. The public expects legislators to meet a high standard of conduct. As information comes out, we expect the consequences to meet the actions both in the court of law and in her role at the legislature. She has previously advocated for red flag laws, trespassing bills, which is interesting given the circumstances, and established a task force to try and keep kids out of the criminal justice system in the name of promoting safety for minors. She's also apparently a lieutenant colonel in the Air National Guard. This will be a fun case to follow, though I feel like nothing might happen. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. With politicians, you never know if they're going to stick it to someone to just make it look like they actually care about morality and ethics, or if they're just going to let her off like they do all their buddies. Only time will tell. But for now, that is it for this video. As always, please like, share, and subscribe if you are new here. Ring that notification bell. Leave a comment down below because that always helps the algorithm. And of course, thank you, every one of you, for tuning in, and happy shooting.